Hello friends, today we are going to continue chapter number 15, economic development, lecture number 10. Friends, up to now in this chapter we have discussed about the meaning of economic development. We understood that what is economic development, why economic development is necessary for any country, why each and every country aims at economic development. We learned about each and everything. Friends, we discussed about why this economic development is the basic necessity for any country. As we understood that economic development is not only the development through economy, but it is the development, it is the overall development we can say of any country. We understood the three indicators through which this economic development can be measured. That was the national income of the country, per capita income, and the standard of living. Friends, we understood how what is the national income. National income is the total income of any country. Second indicator, that is the per capita income, that we understood that how this per capita income can be done. It is the total income of our country is divided by the total population of the country. Then we get the per capita income. We also learned what is the standard of living. Standard of living is the facility that the people of that country gets, like transportation, communications, health facility, education, electricity, each and everything that is considered as the standard of living. Friends, we also discussed about the difference between economic growth and economic development. For a layman, we understood that for a layman, these economic growth and development are same. It looks like same, but there is some difference between economic growth and economic development. Friends, this can be asked in your 3 marks question, that what is the difference between economic growth and economic development. We have already studied this. So, we understood that the economic growth and economic development, 3 major differences are there. On the basis of development, we can say, on one side, that is the change or increase in national income or the per capita income of any country, and that can be easily measured, and it comes in an quantitative aspect. This can easily measure, and that is why it is considered as a quantitative aspect. While on the other side, the standard of living is very difficult to be measured, and when the standard of living is increased, it is considered as economic development. We understood another change between economic growth and development was the change in the economy. When there is change in the production or economy due to the production through the research in any field. We also took the example of a farmer who increases his production with the help of using hybrid seeds and fertilizers, through using researches in farming, and that is called economic development. But the same farmer increases the production by utilizing more agricultural land, then it is called economic growth. The third difference that we understood, that was on the basis of developed and developing countries. If the national income of developing country is increased, if the national income of developed country is increased, it is considered as economic growth. But if the national income of developing country is increased, it is considered as economic development. Friends, we understood that each and every country aims at economic development only, not economic growth. Because economic growth is not sufficient if only the national income or per capita income is increased, but if the people's living standard is not increased, then the increase in national income and per capita income is in vain. If the people are not getting the benefit of the increase in national income and per capita income, then that increment in the quantitative aspect is totally in vain if the qualitative aspect is not increased. So friends, each and every country considers economic development, that they want the quality of life of their people to be increased, and that is why each and every country aims at economic development only. We also understood about the different, when we discussed about this economic development, we understood about economic activity and non-economic activity. Any activity that is done for the purpose of monetary gain or economic gain, then that activity is considered as economic activity. Non-economic activity is totally vice versa. Any activity done without the sake of economic gain, then it is called non-economic activity. In the previous lecture, friends, we discussed about the factor of production. We learned about the 4 factors of production, that was land, capital, labor and entrepreneurship. We learned about land, which is one kind of natural resource, capital, which is man-made resource. Third, we learned about labor. Any person doing any kind of mental or physical work is considered as labor. And entrepreneur means the person who combines all these 3 factors, that is land, capital and labor, is known as entrepreneur. And through these, whatever production he is making is considered as entrepreneurship. Today, friends, we are going to learn another topic. Today, the topic that we are going to cover, that is the problem faced by the world for these distribution resources. Let us cover the topic, that is problems faced by the world with respect to distribution of resources. Friends, let us understand about the problem faced. Let us understand about the problem faced by the world with respect to distribution of resources. Which problems are faced by the world in the distribution of resources? Let's look one by one about the different problems that are faced by the world. First is unlimited wants. First problem faced, that is unlimited wants. Let us discuss about unlimited wants. Here it is said that human wants are unlimited. As we all know, friends, that human wants, our needs are unlimited. If one need is fulfilled, immediately another want will arise. That is why here it says human wants are unlimited. One want will give rise to the other. Friends, here it is said human wants are unlimited. Our needs, our wants are unlimited. We are never satisfied. If our one need is satisfied, if our one want is satisfied, immediately another want will arise. Our need will arise. Right? If you are having two-wheeler, your want will for four-wheeler will increase. If you are living in a small tenement, your need for a bungalow will increase. So your wants are unlimited, right? And that is why here we say one want will give rise to the other want. Here it is said several wants. If we talk about several wants are to be filled repeatedly. There are several wants that are to be filled repeatedly. For example, our want for food, clothes, several wants are to be filled repeatedly. Here it is said, for example, want for food, water, etc. These are the wants that are to be filled repeatedly. If our want for the food is filled for present time, particularly for now, again after some time, this requirement for food is again increased. Again we will require food. If someone feels our want of giving us water to drink, again after some time, this requirement of drinking water will arise. So that is why here it says there are several wants that are to be filled repeatedly. And here it is said, development in science and technology here it is a development in, if we talk about development of science and technology, has give rise to several wants. As we all know that nowadays science and technology is increasing. As science and technology is increasing, several facilities are increasing in the world, and due to that reason, here it is said, as there is development in science and technology is seen, here several wants are increased day by day. Here it is said, to fulfill these wants, to fulfill all these several wants, we can say, more resources are needed. To fulfill this want, more resources are needed, we can say. And here it is said that here it is said, for example, if we take the example, here it is said, invention of car has increased the want of car. As with the development in science and technology, in the past we were not using cars, but due to the development of in science and technology, now the want, after the invention of car, the want for car is increasing day by day. Here it is said, to fulfill this need, several resources like metals. To fulfill these needs, several resources like metals, rubber, etc. are needed. Friends, here it is said, to fulfill this need, several resources like metal, rubber, etc. these all are needed. So friends, you might have understood the first problem that is faced for this distribution of resources, why these resources are very much in use, why these resources are very much in need, because of the unlimited wants of human beings. Because our wants are unlimited, maximum resources are used, right? Our needs, our wants are increasing day by day. If our one want is completed, another want will arise. And as due to the development in science and technology, these wants, these resources are increasing day by day. Here a very good example is given that due to the development in science and technology, after the invention of car, the want for the car is increased. And to fulfill that need, to fulfill that want, again to make the car, several resources is needed, like different metals, rubbers, etc. things are needed to make that car, and that is why these resources are being used in this to fulfill our want. So unlimited want is one of the factor, one of the problem that is faced by the world for the distribution of resources. Let us take a look about the second problem. Friends, second problem is important order in terms of necessities. Important order in terms of necessities. Here it is said that since the resources are limited and our wants are unlimited. As we all know, the resources are limited while wants are unlimited. Here it is said that as resources and the wants, the balance is not maintained, one has to select which want, one has to select that which want should the person give more importance. Friends, here it is said, as we all are aware that the resources are limited, as we learned in the 8th chapter, that resources are in limited quantity, and that is why here we say the resources are limited, while on the other side, as we learned in the previous point, that our wants are unlimited. Resources are limited and wants are unlimited, so this balance is not maintained, due to which the person, any person has to select which want is more necessary for him. For example, if the person has different wants, if a person wants to buy a car and also that person at the same time, if that person wants to buy a house, the person has to select any one want, to which want he should give the first preference or the first importance, because the resources are limited. So he need to select that the person to which resource, which want he should give the more importance. A person has to satisfy his requirement. A person has to satisfy his requirements as per his priority. As per his priority. As I told you friends, that if a person wants to buy a car and also he wants to buy a house, a person has to select that what I want to buy, whether a car or a house. So here the person has to satisfy his requirement by choosing any one, a car or a house, and he has to select that to whom he should give the priority, to whom the person gives importance. To satisfy his requirement, the person has to give priority to any one of them. Here let us share an example. Let us share one more example over here. Here it is said, for a student, money to be spent on school bag. For a student, money to be spent on school bag and books is more important than to buy, is more important than to buy a mobile phone. Here a simple example is given. Here for example a student's, for example of the student is given. For a student it is very much essential to buy books and school bag rather than purchasing the mobile phone. Simple thing is that if a person is having, for example, if any student is having 5,000 rupees with him, for example, and his requirement is for school bag, books, and to invest them in education, and along with it, he also requires mobile phone. So, the first priority that the student should give, that is to the bag and books. And here it is said, this is the best example, that important order in terms of necessity. The person has to select the term in which is the first necessity for him, and in that order the person can fulfill his want. So we have understood the second problem faced by the world according to the distribution resources. Let us understand the third problem. Friends, the third problem is limited resources. The third problem, that is limited resources. Here it is said that factors of production are either man-made. Factors of production are either man-made or natural. Factors of production are either man-made or natural. Here it is said, but both of these are limited. Both of these are limited. Factor of production, that is the resource, they are either man-made or natural, but both of them are limited. Here it is said, hence one needs to utilize both of them. Hence, one needs to utilize both of them very judicially. Both of them very judicially, you can say. Friends, here when we are talking about the utilization of resources, here it is said that both man-made and natural resources are limited, and that is why one, that is the person, needs to utilize both of them. Both of them means this factor of production, that is man-made and natural resources. They should be used very judiciously. Distribution of resources should be done by keeping in mind, the distribution of resources should be done by keeping in mind the most important wants at the center. Friends, here it is said that distribution of resources should be done by keeping in mind the most important wants at the center. Which want is more necessary? First of all, importance should be given to that want, and for that want, these resources should be used first. For example, food is the basic priority, water is the basic priority, so these production of resources should be used to fulfill food, the want of food and water first, and that is why here we say should be done by keeping in mind. All the distribution of resources should be done by keeping in mind about which want is at the center, which want is more necessary. So this was the second problem faced by the distribution resources, that is limited resources. We have only limited resources. Let us move towards the fourth problem faced by the resource distribution. Friends, the fourth is alternate use of resources
The fourth one is the fourth problem that is faced with respect to distribution of resources, that is alternate use of resources. Here it is said there are two aspects. If we talk about the alternate use of resources, here it is said that there are two aspects of the resources. There are two aspects of the resources. One, that they are limited. The first one, from two aspects. The first one is that these resources are limited, and second, and another, they have alternate use. Here it is said there are two aspects of resources. One are limited and the other resources, they are of alternate use. Here it is said when any tool of production is utilized, when any tool of production is utilized in more than one way, here it is said that when any tool of production can be utilized in more than one way, it means that the tool has multiple usages. Here it is said if any tool of production is utilized more than one time, if any resource is used more than one time, that means that resource, that tool is of multiple usage. It can be used for several times. For example, we can take the example of water, right? Water can be reused. It can be used for multiple times, and that is a best example. Here it is said, this means that these tools have alternate use too. Even these tools have alternate usage too. Here it is said, let us say an example of farming. For example, let us take an example. If wheat is sown in a land, if in any agricultural land, if wheat is sown, then bajra, maize, millet, then bajra, maize, millet, or any other crop cannot be cultivated. That means if in a land wheat is already sown, then wheat has already occupied the land, then we cannot, if the wheat is sown in a land, then bajra, maize, millet or any other crops cannot be cultivated on the same land at the same time. Cannot be cultivated at the same time. Wheat is already sown, so we cannot cultivate millet, maize or bajra or any other cross. That means this means if we look at this factor, then here it is said this means that to make use, this means that to make one use of land, this means that to make one use of land as well as resource as well as resource, then here it is said we have to forget another use. If we are fulfilling one want, then we have to forget another use. So here we can clearly understand that it should be decided that here if we have one land and we have already cultivated wheat, then we have to forget about cultivating bajra, maize or millet. Means we have to forget any one need, and that is why hence here it is said for this purpose alternate use of resource, we can say it should be decided, ultimately it should be decided that which uses should be given the priority and which should be used first. So friends, you might have understood the alternate use of resources. So these were the problem faced by the world in the distribution of resources. We'll learn about another topic in our next lecture. Thank you.